Give y'all a few seconds to get on in here. Hopefully everybody's day, everybody's evening is going well. Hey Kay Holiday, hey Circumstances Never Matters, hey DeMarcus Mom. Oh, you said I was right. What was I right about? Hey Cat Eyes, hey baby, how are you? Hey Shernan, hey Kiki. Waiting for your response. I want to see what I was right about. Hey Sweetness 56. Oh, you said about Trump. Okay. Yeah, I did see that Meg is being sued. For those of you who don't know, she's being sued by Plies, her and all parties that were on the song Wannabe. Hey, Miss Cobb. Hey, Kendra Cobb. Yeah. I had a few of y'all remind me about the what I said about Trump thing. And here's the interesting thing. If you go back and look to who was supporting Kamala, and then you also look at who's being investigated, it kind of puts things into perspective of who they thought was going to, you know, align with helping them to possibly get out of, a little hot water. I did tell y'all as soon as he got in, he was going to resend all the stuff for the migrants, and he said that's, his first day in. That's his first plan. Okay, a cyber geek. I've never seen you before. Oh, hey Barbie. You said you've been crying all day. It's no sense in crying, sweetie. Well, here's the thing. Women's rights are not going to go away that easy because this is a multi-tiered government. It has to go through several different layers before they can just take it away. So depending on the state, it starts off with your local government first, and then it goes to the House of Representatives and the Senate, and then it goes to the White House. So the White House can't just take it all away by itself. So, yep, I noticed that when not J-Ho was on the stage, these people are connected to Diddy. Yeah. Yeah, you got that right. God is going to protect us. Said, I really hope that's not the only reason why I voted for her. Yeah, they can't just, the White House can't just come in and take reproductive rights. It's literally multi-tiered for that reason, to keep anybody from having the monopoly. This is why state and local government elections are extremely important, because it's your local government, from your state representative to the governor to the Senate representative that represents the district you're in, that make more of those decisions than the president. It has to trickle up from there. I see the bots are in huge attendance. Thank all of you for your views as well. Yeah, you're right, Chris Reeves. It's more of a state issue. It depends on what your local government and your state rules on that. So that people have been obsessing over the abortion nonsense. What about your cost of living? That's very important, because cost of living is through the roof. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Contraception depends also on the body of the woman, because all women, can't use all contraception. Some people get sick on birth control. Some people are allergic to latex. So people just need to be more mindful of who they sleep with. And, unfortunately for the people who get taken advantage of and ended up in that situation, my prayers are, with them, because they didn't get a decision. But for the most part, this whore culture, this thought culture, it needs to be cleaned up anyway. You got STIs through the roof right now, so nobody needs to be without any protection. People have been very reckless. Said there were people upset every time Trump won the states he was going to win regardless. I knew these people didn't understand the electoral college. Well, electoral college is huge. People are saying weird stuff. Can I be a moderator? Baby, welcome to my chat. I have some of the craziest bots and trolls, period. Hey, Mr. LL. Said it's said under him that a toaster might rise to the price of $50 instead of 40. Um, here's the thing. And uh-oh. Trying to make sure I stay caught up with everybody. Here's the thing. What he's trying to do is force America to make more products in-house. If America makes more products in-house, then there's more jobs in America. Now, either way it goes, somebody's going to have to take a hit. If you tax, the exports, yes, the exports are going to cost more, but it's going to be more affordable to buy the American-made products. So, either way it goes, you gotta win. You gotta win something and lose something. Said people just like to stick to politics and everything, dude. Politics are not your winnies. Okay, I don't know who you are. That's not even a properly constructed sentence. So what about the Project 25? That is scary too. Um, I want y'all to think about it. And I'm not here to cheerlead for Trump. I'm not, because I felt like this election was a back against the wall choice, if you know what I mean. That's what it felt like. But at the end of the day, notice they never open up the Agenda 25 to read to you exactly what it was that was going to be the problem. They leaned very hard on the reproductive rights, as if there weren't, even more things, on the table. Let's let's call it ace a ace and a spade a spade. If you win the right to go to the clinic as many times as you choose, which is your business, but the economy crashes and you can't afford to feed yourself, let alone any child that's in your household, are you really winning, when it's all said and done? Because there is no surplus right now if the country ends up in turmoil. We just saw that with these tornadoes to hurricanes. Because when those hurricanes hit down there in Florida and the Gulf region, where were the subsidies to help those American people that paid taxes, that paid into those systems? These people who have insurance on their homes, they told them, oh, well, we can only give you $750. And then when they applied for the $750, they couldn't even get that, because allegedly it was spent already. So to say you're cutting taxes for the middle class, does it matter if you cut taxes for the middle class if the middle class can't afford the cost of living? Whatever tax you cut gets literally sucked up in the vacuum of inflation. You got to find out how to stop the inflation first. And a huge part of this budget that has to stop is all this extra money that's being given to the migrants right now. Because if that's going to be the excuse of what is never going to come back into your community, and you're thinking about migrants are getting money to purchase homes, free rent for 2 years, anywhere between 30 to 40,000 in cash assistance and food stamps. What about the working class person who is robbing Peter to pay Paul, and they're doing everything they can to be positive, to pay their bills, and they literally only have a couple of dollars left to get to and from work between checks due to inflation? That person can't afford to have an emergency. What happens? Their car breaks down, anything happens, and they say, okay, well, why don't you fill out, a voucher? The government will pay for you to get your car repaired. And DFS tells you, well, yeah, we did have that program, but we don't have it anymore. We gave that money to the migrants. You see how messed up that sounds? That's what's going to happen. So imagine you pay all this money all these years into your taxes. And when you finally need something, 30, 40 years paying taxes, they tell you we ain't got it because we just spent it on the migrants. That's when it starts to make sense. That's when you finally start to say, well, hold on, wait a minute. They're not even paying into this system. How are they getting more than people who actually got naturalized into the system, let alone people who were born here? When you go to put your child in a school and your child can't get into school because they have too many children in the school, and now that district is getting all the money to teach migrant children, but not your children, but you are the one who is paying the taxes for that. And now your children got to be bussed all the way out to another school because the bulk of that money is going to go to children who aren't naturalized, that come from families that aren't naturalized, and they don't have to give anything back into the same system that you've been fighting for. That's messed up. Because what country could we go to right now and get everything that I just mentioned without punity? You just go pick up right now, go to any country. Who's going to give us that? We can't cross the border and go into Mexico and get any of that. But our jobs are going over there anyway. So think about that. Our jobs are going to Mexico. You do have a respectable working class group of Mexicans coming into the country, but they're not even going through the same system that their brothers and sisters went through to get in the system, to get naturalized, to become citizens. So now they're undercutting you that was born here and the Mexican citizens that came before them. They got naturalized. Malcolm, everybody that came over here wasn't a part of the prison gangs. A large amount, but see, that goes back to Kamala, because her as the vice president, her job is to maintain the border security. She opened the border and allowed this to happen. So if anybody is not respectable in this situation, you got to blame it on who opened the border to bring everybody over here. They're saying another group of people are supposed to be coming into the country right now as we speak. Almost what? 4 or 5 more buses on its way right now as we speak? At least. Why are you still busing people in the country? Didn't they tell us they closed the border? You told us you don't have any money for the hurricane victims. Why are you still bringing people in the country? That's crazy to me. So we've been had border issues. This has been an issue for years. Not like this, Taylor. Not like this. It's one thing for people to find their way into the border. It's another thing for your government to take tour buses, Greyhound buses, and tell everybody who can get a seat to hurry up and fill up these buses. That is the government doing that. That is not people taking it upon themselves coming in the country. So we can't blame these people from coming in the country when you have buses pulling up and saying, everybody get on. We put your name, on this paper. We're going to give you $40,000-$50,000 up front. We're going to pay your rent for 2 years. We're going to give you down payments to buy homes without you having any paperwork. And if you go to jail, don't worry about it. You'll get right back out because we don't have any paperwork to process you on. That's not their fault. That's the government's fault. The government did that. Oh, Chris, you are cute. That's funny. So, at that point, we got to call an ace a ace and a spade a spade. And see, this is why I've been telling y'all, if y'all think it's bad out here, pay attention. Don't be out here Black Friday shopping, Christmas shopping, and not paying attention, because when you got people who regularly, run down on people for the holidays and take their stuff, think about what's going to happen with all these migrants who know their money about to be cut off and they're about to be put out the country. All of those people are not going to just go right back. It's about to get desperate. And it's about to get cold outside. No, ma'am, no, sir. This is the time where you really don't want to be in the street. Is that true? They are really dangerous because they are not afraid of the police. So what does that mean for the civilians? Oh, my candle's over here. It's popping. Yeah, this I was talking to a friend of mine not too long ago, y'all. And I'm about to start station here before we go any further. I was telling them, I said the biggest opponent, especially like over there in Chicago and New York, a lot of these gangs have never faced winter, right? So imagine these cold winters and they're taking over apartment buildings. They're taking over people's houses. And they've never been through a real winter where it gets bitter cold, where the pipes bust in the house if the house is not a certain temperature. Do you know what type of savage comes out of somebody when it's negative something degrees and you've never experienced this and you got to make something happen? Mm-mm. And you know that all the money that you got is about to get cut off. The person who brought you over here, who sold you, you know, the false American dream, is not even being elected now. So everything you were promised gets cut. Said, come to California if you want to know gangs. Baby, I kick it with people everywhere. And see, even with the gangs in California, it's still rules. It's still, you know, territories that are setting in place. We're bringing prison gangs into the country. They don't respect those rules in those territories. I mean, you got to think about, you know, over in Chicago, right? You got all these people who just, you know, got indicted with the whole situation with O Block, right? For those of y'all who don't know, the Venezuelan street gangs have already, you know, before the indictment even started, they were already driving by and walking by O Block, you know, letting it ring outside. So now that, you know, you got a group of people from O Block that's been indicted and they know that they're being watched, it's only a matter of time before they go and try to take over O Block. And then you have that war back and forth. And it's gonna get hectic over there over the winter. They have until what? I want to say between January, because the president gets sworn in the first of the year. So they got until January for whatever they want to do before they start to round people up to bust them out. Ain't no telling what's about to happen between now and then. And everybody ain't, you know, about to leave, you know, just because. Yeah, they got 3 months, but everybody is not going to allow themselves to be rounded up. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is going to be spooky. Hold on, let's see. That's a good question. It said, why don't they or didn't they help the Venezuelans with aid or food for the starving people there? Well, see, here's the thing. A lot of those people from Venezuela weren't supposed to be on those buses to come over here in the first place because they literally just got off a prison bus and were released into Mexico, and they got on the bus in Mexico to come to America. Now, the real question that I have is, why didn't the American government vet everybody that was getting on those buses to make sure that they were working class people and not criminals? But before we even did that, why didn't they go and, you know, make some tiny homes for the veterans and the homeless, or, you know, put that money back into our own society before we start helping people from outside of the country? We got to fix our own problems first. America is quick to go and, you know, put their nose in everybody else's business, and then we let our own stuff fall apart. Now, me personally, I can't prove this. I'm saying up front, this is my own opinion. I believe what was done because it was done around election time in some of these sanctuary cities. It is against the law to ask for ID in these places where you vote. So if you brought some of these people in and it's against the law to ask for identification, depending on where you are for voting, you could possibly have people go in and vote that shouldn't be voting. So that's just my theory. So when you look at it that way, I could be right, I could be wrong, but if I'm right, that means she was trying to purchase the election by stacking the odds, and it still didn't work because the class of people that she brought into the country, they don't care about voting. This isn't their country. They don't care about democracy. They already were, coming over here for a whole different type of come up. If you're getting people straight off a prison bus, they're not coming to be working class Americans, Mexicans. They don't want to be working class anybody. They're coming to set up shop. So if I'm right, those same people were going to do just what happened in the 80s and get out here and flood the streets with whatever. And they're just here running point for whoever sent them here so that they can have, little lieutenants here, here, and here, and here, so that when they start to push that Coca-Cola, they're already here in place. So if I'm right, it was ingenious if the cartel may have allegedly put some people on those buses and say, hey, go over there and get Americanized right quick, set up shop, and we'll contact you when we're ready to, set up shop. But that's just a theory for me. Let's see. You said the other world powers, more China than Russia, contribute a lot from beside the lines. And if he tax the import export, Asia tends to lose a lot of money because we purchase a lot from those countries. So you got to think about what the power dynamic would be if they start to lose their financial grip on this country. Yeah, you said tariffs. Said Tucker Carlson is getting a job at the White House. Ooh, wait. You said Trump is going to make a lot of people mad now. Yeah, I believe so. Oh, thanks, Life Entertainment. You said, but those people say that they think openly and the world population of 500 million people is more than enough. Well, I mean, apparently they believe that. Look at what they're doing to our food. Food is going to either help you to live a longer, healthier life, or it's going to end your life if you're not eating right. So, if you see the way that our food is versus the food in other countries, you will definitely understand what I'm saying. Anytime I've ever left the country and came back, I always felt off when I ate our food again. You said, listen, Trump helped to get the ball to rolling for Hollywood exposure, so I hope it speeds up. Actually, he didn't do that. That was done under Biden, and the kickoff was for him to help with the investigation into the Tupac trial with Keefe D. And when he lended his support to look into Puffy because Keefe D alleged that Puffy wrote that check, that was what got the ball to rolling. But you're right, though. Trump is going to be the one to get credit for finishing it. Said, especially if the people aren't going to pay 3 times as much for products. Well, let's be honest. A lot of these products we don't need. America consumes a whole lot, especially in you know disenfranchised areas. We go out of our way to purchase things that we don't need, and then they build things on purpose to break down anywhere between the 2 and 4 year mark to make you purchase it again and again and again and again. And if those parts for whatever it is you need to be fixed come from overseas, it's no telling how long it'll take you to get them. You said he is a businessman and this is a corporation. Said in America, you did a good thing to vote in for Donald Trump. Okay. Well, we're not campaigning. The campaign is over. Um, hey, Vintage Paris Doll. Uh, says, so how do you think we can get them out of there now? Um, a lot of them may have to be flushed out, and I think one of the first things that he's gonna do. This is just my opinion, but I think one of the first things that he's gonna do is cut those SNAP cards, those EBT cards off, and halt all payments to whomever is going to be paying, their rent, whether it's the hotels or apartments. If those payments get halted and those EBT cards ended up being turned off, it's going to make it harder for people to stay. Some of those people were smart. They took that money, they bought food trucks, they, purchased, leases for businesses. So those people, it's going to be almost next to impossible to get those people out. But the rest of the people who didn't, think accordingly, it's not going to be that hard to get rid of them. Like the ones that have children that can't just pick up and leave and do what they want to do, they'll be picked up first. Said from a large scale business perspective, in the long run, tariffs would force foreign companies to create factories here in the USA to avoid taxes. I agree. Either the foreign companies are going to have to do it, or it's going to actually pump more money into small businesses in the United States because it's going to be cheaper to buy local. Would you say is that I know I buy stuff I don't need? I do it on the regular, so I know I'm preaching to the choir. He said, I just can't wait to not be afraid to offend someone by speaking common sense. Well, all I can tell you is at the end of the day, sweetheart, you're going to piss people off one way or the other. Truth tellers always make people mad. I'm just one of those people, we don't have to agree. Let's just be respectful. Sometimes I want to see from somebody else's vantage point what they think or how they feel because they could teach me something and vice versa. So it's like, how do you learn if you can't listen? He said, same as those 10,000 THSs and more FEMA trailers stocked up in the desert. And so he said, this decennia ago and people forgot fast and a lot. It a lot of people, I don't know if they forgot or they just didn't want to know. said every time I go on TikTok, I'm tempted to buy stuff. Oh, baby, they got the bots in here early, didn't they? So, yeah, the trolls are at an all-time high. I'm trying to keep up with the actual people in here. Justice for us? Yes, you can. Hold on. You said when the products run out in 9 months because of the tax, honey. Have you been looking at the grocery stores and what's going on? These stores have been running on half mast this last year. They've already been slowing down what's in the stores. If you go to half these stores, depending on what type of store you go to, especially a superstore, the stores are not stocked the way they need to be. They haven't been in a long time. Said at NYC they didn't ask me for ID, and it was mostly Indians voting. No matter who the president is, it's gonna have to go through Congress. You got to go through, Supreme Court. You got to go through, depending on, after it gets passed, each state has their own local legislation. So it's a lot of tiers. It's not like he's gonna just be able to go in there on dictatorship and just change everything. Things have to go, through the tiers of government. That's why it's very important to more so vote for your local government. That affects you more. So you guys think Kamala is going to go back to be an Indian after this? I knew somebody was gonna say that. Oh my gosh. I think it was quite tacky how she skipped out on speaking last night. Everybody had put a lot into her election. She owed them a thank you speech at least. I heard she did it today, but you know, like that wasn't really professional. Said, I don't let the elections get under my skin. The president not in control anyway. Mm. Now that I agree with Sylvia. Said products have been expensive the last 5 years. It's not about 9 months to come. Right. Y'all look at this troll right here. Said, wow, you look exactly like my neighbor and he is something. Well, your neighbor must be a cutie. Tell him I said what's up. Yes, local politics affect us quicker and more directly. Absolutely. You said what happened with the trolls. I listen. Somebody loves to try out all the troll packages on me. You said they don't lose from tariffs. We are charged for tariffs, not the export countries. Well, here's the thing. If you have a choice between what's made in America and it's more affordable and what's made overseas and paying more due to that tax, people are going to lean towards what's more affordable. So if what's more affordable ends up being something that could be made at a local business, that puts more money back into the community. If there's more money back into the community, those small businesses can employ more people, they can do more business, and then that money goes back into the community, pretty much in a circle. But either way it goes, we can't keep giving everything to other countries because it's cheaper for companies to outsource from this country and then take everything to other countries. We're losing a lot of our workforce that way. So everyone who performed at Kamala's rally, I want to see how things go for them now that Trump is in office. That's interesting. You said they're quick to write a check to other countries. You said they're gonna flop. Oh wow. Yeah, we saw that Plies is suing them. Y'all gotta understand that it's so many people getting involved in politics right now because the industry is not making money the way it used to. When artists were making actual pure sales, they didn't care about coming to these rallies. And um, they used to wouldn't even bring these type of people in to speak at these rallies because you would be considered the laughing stock a few years back bringing some of these people in to speak. Like this whole election felt like a Hail Mary pass. It really did. Some of the people who were chosen to speak should have never been on the stage. Ivory, don't worry about your family being against you. You got a couple more months for everybody to still be mad. Oh, thank you, Don Capone. He said, well, the camel and the camel facing Joanne did go out of their way to show Donald that he couldn't use their music at all. It was up. They're currently under investigation, so don't be surprised if he, looks over their paperwork a tad bit more. Said, guess 50 Cent was smart for saying that he voted for Trump and congratulated him. He also let him use his music throughout several of his events. Right, you said who in theory in their right mind would have let Cardi speak on their campaign. Right, right. She's not like I felt that way when they brought her out to speak for Bernie. And the fact that she said she wasn't endorsing anybody and she wasn't going to vote, it's like why would you go get her after she said she's not endorsing anybody anymore and she's not going to vote? To me, I felt like Kamala really, really spit in the face of overall the black community and black women because the type of women that she chose to have stand up and represent what the world is supposed to see, what she sees as blackness and black women, is highly embarrassing. We have so many intelligent, eloquent, well spoken people that could have gotten up and spoken on behalf of the Democratic Party in an intelligent way. And we didn't get any of that. We got a minstrel show. We literally got a minstrel show. So if this is what she thought that blackness represents and blackness is supposed to circumference, what does that really say about how she looks at us as a community? She gave us every stereotypical, swashbuckling, knee slapping clown that she could have found that probably, need to hurry up and pay their car note. Like you gave us, Quavo to talk about gun control after he talked about Pow Pow and Chris Brown. And then you have Megan to come out and dance right behind that. And they cut Megan's speech. They didn't even let her talk. And it's just like, to me, this whole entire election just felt like something from Mad TV. It really did. It's like, is this really real? Like, is this real life? But once that hurricane happened, and you couldn't help the American public, the real people in America who were losing their homes, had nowhere to sleep, people died from that hurricane, and you couldn't even give those people $750. Y'all should have knew that the election was over for her. That didn't just touch the people of Florida, that touched people everywhere when they realized those people couldn't get relief fund. And the whole time, FEMA is paying people to come out, and they're putting these people up for 6 months to help with the cleanup, paying these people to be there for the cleanup. But the people who need the help can't even get any money, but they are flying people out and putting them in hotels for 6 months to do the cleanup. And you can't even give the people who lost everything $750. Now, it's supposed to be up to $40,000, but if they apply for the 750 and couldn't get that, you know good and well they're not going to get the 40,000. He said Cardi made fun of the flooded states. I heard what she said, especially when she directed it to Florida and said that, the people who voted for Donald Trump, that's why y'all got hurricanes. At this point, I don't know what to say when it comes to Cardi, because not only was that so low down and under the belt, when karma pulls up on her, it's gonna double park in front of her house. That's all I'm gonna say. Some things don't need to be said, some things ain't gotta be said, and some things should never be said. And that was all of the above. People are still struggling and suffering right now. People have just finally been able to bury loved ones because of that hurricane. And this is what you say. But then you'll turn around and expect these same hurricane victims to listen to your music and support your career and to pretend like you never said that. Pitiful. Saying the way that Kelly showed up was pitiful. Listen, the Kelly thing, I want Kelly to understand that she is so wonderful outside of having to be somebody's wing chick. Because it seems like nobody ever goes to get Kelly until they need something. You said it's that demon on her. Well, remember I told y'all that pumpkin spice season was going to get active. So when we go from, I want to say, this month all the way up until January 11th, there's going to be a lot of developments in court. There's going to be a lot of things exposed. There's going to be a whole lot of things that are going to come to the table unilaterally, not just in Hollywood. A lot of people are about to get exposed. A lot of people are about to end up in court. A lot of people are about to be raided, okay? There's so many people that are literally like interlinked to each other in criminality. Every time one person gets caught, you're going to have 50 people attached to that one person. What's about to happen right now between entertainment and government is unheard of, because entertainment stopped making money a long time ago. A lot of these people in entertainment have been, padding their bank account in other ways for a very long time. These indictments are about to show how. You said, I think it's a shadow complex. Just happy to be in the shadow or in the background singer, not the lead. It's been ingrained to her in a way. Interesting. Upset, washing greens in the tub and all type of mess. Ooh wee. Now she even pretend to eat fried pork chops. Says someone who went through Hurricane Harvey in Houston, I was disgusted. Yeah, that was something that should have never been said, no matter how you feel. I don't care how upset you are. Why in the world would you say something like that and speak into something like that with all the stuff that those people are going through? Trey Wilson, what the hell are you talking about? That's nice. I mean, what did that do to help? Notice what you just said. I was with Kamala at the Beyonce party. You mean you were at a DNC event for the Democratic Party where Beyonce was present? See how that should have been said? That's what's wrong with who came to the party. People forgot what the purpose was. They thought it was a dance party. They forgot it was for political support for the DNC. So, anything y'all want me to tap in? Let's have a free for all tonight. Let's see what's going on over here on station here. Y'all are active. Oh, wow. Can you do a reading on Hallie and DDG's breakup? It's really not much to read on the breakup. He can't keep his member in his pants. Church girl chose the wrong guy because she didn't have dating experience. Tap in applies lawsuit. Trump and Beyonce. Oh, that's interesting. Megan's case with the photographer. Um, I've already have 2 readings on Megan's case with the photographer, and I've tapped into that several times. Um, to recap on that, her pushing for this to go to federal court actually backfired because it's in the same region where Bay J, the mayor of New York, and Diddy are all under investigation at the same time. You said, can I ask a question on station head? You could ask a question on either one. I'm trying to catch up with the both of them. Have I done a reading on Ariana Grande? Seems like she seems robotic these days. I've never done a reading on Ariana Grande. No, not at all. I haven't. Thank you, the Royal Master. I appreciate you. Nah, Diddy ain't got my head messed up. Not at all. Said Trump and Beyonce, the allegations that Krishan has towards her sister. Taryn, I'm not touching that one. I said that a couple of lives ago. To even tap into that one, I would have to use a lot of language and go into a lot of things that could get the video flagged. And it's a very sensitive topic. So things that I can't talk about freely without, you know, having them cut this live, I'm not going to touch. Oh, baby, you don't have to apologize. I just wanted you to know. Said peanut butter and jelly reading had me gagged. I had to rewatch it twice. Oh, thank you. I didn't know how y'all would take a blind read. So I just took a chance because it's like I like to be able to tell y'all what I want to tell y'all. But if I tell you and I connect the name to it, then they get to messing with my channel. So I figured I would get the story out that way. Interested enough, I kept channeling on the jelly part for hours after the reading was over. What'd you say? Get a soundboard so you can do a sort of thing, just a suggestion. Funny thing is, I have a soundboard in the basement. I just never finished setting up my office. Okay, said I love the blind reads. Thank you. Oh, you said that was smart to name it peanut butter and jelly. The name peanut butter and jelly, how I came up with that name is that I kept doing all these different industry reads and they kept popping up in my reads and they weren't supposed to be a part of it. So when you read someone's energy enough and you understand the energetic signature, so you can feel and see when they come in and out of a story. And it's like, well, what are you doing here? So it's like if I've done over 15 readings and you keep popping up in my readings, then chances are you two are working in cahoots and you're working in cahoots a lot. So when I kept seeing them over and over and over again, it's like, okay, these two are like a tag team. They're a dynamic duo. And like I said, when I opened the reading, peanut butter and jelly always come together for the bread. So that's where you got the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. These two always come together for the bread. And anytime you want to follow the criminality, you can follow either one. It doesn't matter. It's going to lead back to the other one because they're hand in hand in a lot of stuff. So yeah. Okay, thank you, Liam. One of these days, eventually, when I get my office finally set up, I'm gonna test out my soundboard because I have all that stuff in the basement. Did you change your name again? No, I didn't even see a comment to delete it. You're like the third person to tell me that your comment is getting deleted. I try to warn y'all, the people who watch me got people watching them. So we have some very interesting people watching us now. So that was another reason why I did the blind read. So thanks to them, we're going to, the really tough stuff, we're going to tackle it in blind reads. You said they're deleting your comment too? Wow. Trey Wilson, you asked me about a wig. Oh, well, see, somebody got you. I was about to say, you asked me about a wig. More and more time, I'm going to delete you. Why do y'all think that somebody that look like this can't have natural hair? That's sad. I don't know who programmed you to think that we can't grow hair, but that's not true. Will the diddler get pardoned by Trump? Trump ain't studying about him. He's too deep in the trenches for what he's in trouble with. Yeah, so they really don't want the word to get out. Diddy can't be pardoned unless he was convicted anyways. He's gonna sit. Right. That exactly, say hey Miss Zoe. And for what he's sitting there for, Trump's not getting his hands dirty with that. The lead attorney that is on the Diddler's case literally just walked out of court last week. So this man specializes in this type of case and this type of law, and he decided he no longer wanted part of it. So that says a lot. And did y'all pay attention to lately? TMZ has been reporting a lot of what's going on with Tory's case. Make sure I'm caught up over here. It said read Trump, Elon, or John Kennedy. Um, I already read Elon on Monday. Funny enough, we were tapping into the energy around Cardi's comments to Elon for judging her DNC speech. Hold on, wait a minute. Slow down on some of these you deleting. Slow down on deleting these comments. Cause some of these comments are regular every week viewers. Said exactly, did someone purposely set her up? This made no sense. Yeah, some of these are our regular Wednesday people. Don't delete our regular Wednesday people, y'all. I'm about to pull some cards out in a minute. Oh, look at here. I got a proposal from somebody who says they've been on here for 12 seconds. That's so kind of you. Oh my gosh. You said, will Kamala take revenge on Trump? It's really not much Kamala can do, sweetie. Let's see. Alrighty. Said I think it's about the exposure of Trump, whatever they might be. You can't expose somebody who tell on themselves. Trump tells us all the time that he don't care about nothing. The way he presents anything, he gonna do what he does. Um, you would have to affect Trump. You would have to show him as someone who's not as bad as he's already shown himself. So let's see. Let me pull some cards. You know what? Nope. I'm gonna pick some cards so I can show the whole card. Because YouTube is on us for the type of cards we use too. Said, notice the Kardashians didn't endorse anybody. It's unlike them. They've been very quiet lately. Dingus Pinkus. I don't know where that name came from, but okay. Trump already said on his first day in office he's going to start deporting people. So I just saying that Latino men don't want a woman, that's all. I don't think it was that with Kamala. Kamala has an odd way about herself where she gets in very serious situations and she chokes up and she starts laughing. So you have to think about the leader of the free world. If you're going to go into these meetings and we're trying to stay out of war and you got to be able to do trade agreements and things of that nature, you can't crack under pressure in those situations. And those are not the situations to start giggling and, being weird. So to me, it's not even about her being a woman. It's about her being awkward and folding under pressure. She has a hard time making it through interviews. So if she can't make it through basic softball type interviews, how is she going to make it when it gets really tough out here and she has to go before foreign officials? Yeah, you said Kamala ain't built like that. Where's my man? Why are you worried, Voyager? Okay, so let me get to tapping in. Um, do you think she thought that it was a shoe-in just because they tried as hard as she should have? Um, I think she underestimated, the culture and the black vote. I think that's what she underestimated. I think that her taking the BET approach to getting black people's attention is really what did her in, because you can't expect that just bringing somebody that's hot on the radio is going to get black people to the polls. Everybody's not that simple minded. We as a community are unilateral, and it was very insulting the way she approached trying to get the vote. This is a woman that's been in office for 3.5 years, and we have yet to see her pop up at anything that has to do with us. It's like somebody clocking in for work, and halfway through the shift, you find them in the lunchroom. It's like you've been in the lunchroom all day. Damn, I forgot you were here. Yes, we've evolved as a people, absolutely. And to think that there aren't critical thinkers in every community is also a slap in the face. He said, "Where's Mr. Biden?" Probably taking another nap. Yes, she had Quavo speak for her for gun control. It was that in itself was weird. I have no thoughts on Hillary Clinton. She's not in office. So, Miss Angel, you know that he's in the live right now with you. Exactly who I'm talking about. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me go ahead and start the readings. Let me start tapping in. Hmm. Mystic. Oh my God. I promise you just read my mind. Alrighty. So, since somebody brought up the Diddy trial and the pardon with Trump, let's tap into that and let's see what Trump being in office is going to do for Diddy and his case. Now, say hey, Miss Zoe. Shout out to you. You already gave one of the most important comments to that. You cannot be pardoned without actually being charged with anything. Like he hasn't even, you know, started a trial yet. So there's nothing to pardon as of now. So let's see if Trump will pardon Diddy after a conviction. Because he has to be convicted to be pardoned. So we got the 9 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. So this is saying to me, just point blank, he's going to let him go through this process, however long and arduous it has to be, and he's going to go to jail. So I don't see him letting him out, but let's keep going. Yeah, no dice. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Nothing that he can give him. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, nothing he can give him is a wish fulfillment. And here it is. The King of Swords, which represents like higher law enforcement, like that would be like the Feds, Homeland Security. This is too high up the food chain. Trump is not messing with this. So yeah, this is talking about, you know, good times in the past, them partying, you know, things being exchanged as far as being in the same circles. So they're very aware of each other when it comes to, you know, being in the know and hanging out. And it looks like, you know, this is what Puffy doesn't expect, because it's like heavy anxiety over having to go before the courts and face these accusations. 9 of Swords to 5 of Swords. He feels like this is a conflict in communication. Like, what you mean you ain't got nothing for me? Because this feels like he's possibly already been reaching out for them, and they can't get in they can't get in contact. They can't get anything that they want out of this situation so far. Yeah. They feel like it's, okay, well, we got to go through this long, drawn-out process, Knight of Pentacles. But I don't even think this is about the process. It's like Donald knows the truth about this equation, and he's like, nah, I think you need to go ahead and sit down. Yep. Knight of Wands. I know the truth about this equation. I know the truth about your family. You know how terrible you got to be as a person when Donald Trump don't want nothing to do with you. You know, allegedly, don't want your money, don't want nothing. No, don't you come back out and worry about endorsing me. Let's pretend like we never met. Said he wants the Kodak Black rescue plan, but it's too hot to handle, especially for Trump. That's what this looks like, allegedly. Trump is like, everything you touch is going down drain like a vortex. I don't want anything to do with this. Yeah, he's refusing any offer that's being given to him, the hermit. No, thank you. You by yourself, you're going to stay by yourself on this one. Don't call me. And I promise I won't call you. Yeah. Tower under the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is, once again, independent. So it's like Puff is going to feel like he's been hung out to dry. Yep. Ace of Cups. Ain't no love. Ain't no love. Nothing I could do for you. In reverse from the Wheel of Fortune. So if there is an alleged offer under the table, okay, it don't look like Trump and his administration is entertaining it. And I see him being diplomatic, listening to it. But it's like, I'm a let you get this one off. But when I hang up this phone, somebody changed the number. Not poor little Tink Tink. Yeah, the devil. Right up under the Knight of Pentacles. So this represents obsession, toxicity, negativity. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. I know the stuff other people don't know about you. Absolutely not. I will not be helping you. So I don't see Trump getting involved to help him do anything after this case is wrapped up. And I want you all to understand this is not an easy case. So this is going to actually, take a few years possibly to get from point A to point B, because there's so many different moving parts. And in the midst of all these different moving parts, we've got over 500 lawsuits by the Busby law team in itself against Puffy for his behavior at these shimmies at the Beagle. Oh, if he pardons Tory, that's going to be major. Listen, didn't I tell y'all MAGA would start to move like the hand of God in Tory's case? So, I want you to pay attention to the officials that work for LA County and the state of California that were voted out, and the ones who got voted in. Says Sylvia Wright, he was there. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. So Aiden Ross said he spoke with Trump about Tory personally. He said he was going to do that before he had him on his show as well. Go Team Jesus, brought to you by Trump administration. Okay. You said it's federal or state. Tory's case was state, but he's taken it up the food chain because of how it was handled in the local counties. So depending on how all of this turns out, a lot of people in this case are going to face some paperwork on the other side. Ashley, Jeffrey, what do you look like? Because there's always somebody that doesn't have a face to their picture that wants to talk about what somebody looks like. You said the DA was changed in Tory's case. Yes. Yes, sure was. Now, important enough, y'all got to remember, A lot of these people who came out for Kamala now have a bullseye on their back. So anything that they do when they mess up, you think about how many people MAGA has when it comes to, the media, reporters and news affiliates that are, MAGA supporters. Those people are going to become targets for the news. Y'all see TMZ is now showing more about what's going on with Tory's case. Said people would side eye a pardon for Tory so bad. That's a good point. Um, here's the thing. By the time he gets into office, Tory's case is already, and I gotta say allegedly, his case already stands to be back in court. So I don't think he's gonna need a pardon. But that doesn't mean that he won't get some kind of special assistance to unseal things, because there are still things that need to be unsealed. Said I can't wait until Rock is exposed. Said I'm glad Nikki stayed out of it and didn't endorse anyone. So I will say that conversation between Nikki and Ray J was quite weird. It gave me a huge overtone of I know what you did last summer, and Ray J hoping that she didn't spill the beans. Said I know the one who endorsed her shook. Listen, for those of y'all who've been with me, didn't I tell y'all that it was the worst decision for Beyonce to send that paperwork to Trump for her music? Because he was going to double back around and remember that on the back end. Didn't I tell y'all that? Just so happened her and her husband are now under investigation through the Southern District of New York. So interesting how this is about to go. Said, yeah, Nikki sound like a mother trying to catch her child in a lie. He said, yep, he's going to get her for that. Trump is petty. Yes, he is. I mean, you see the picture that he took with 50 Cent soon as he got inaugurated. Like, this is a man who came out to 50 Cent Many Men. You know how different you got to be to come out to a song talking about many men which death on me? Like, y'all, when I heard that and I realized that the internet didn't do that as an AI prank, I almost slid off my couch. Yeah. It says Shea Butter Twitter is going to be in shambles once the Tory situation settles. Listen, Shea Butter Twitter and my family group chat are in shambles right now over this election. My family group chat got so ugly. I was erasing the whole group chat, right? Because I couldn't understand why I was in it anyway. But it got to the point where it got to popping in the group chat. I didn't even know about it. Y'all, people was getting cussed out and every damn thing. I missed half the drama by erasing most of my messages. When I tell y'all that this election got people, all all their feathers is bunched up right now. I went to bed early last night. Like, I'm not about to sit up to watch these damn results. I ain't going live. I ain't doing nothing. Yeah, it does have people tripping. People's blood pressure is higher today than it was yesterday. Said Trump will take what he can get of an endorsement. Most rich people are ecstatic. Taxes will be obsolete for them. I don't think taxes will be obsolete for them. It's he here's the thing. Taxes are not going to be obsolete for them at all But I don't put it past Trump to find new loopholes for them to pay less money. I don't expect him to do anything less. This is Mr. Art of the Deal. That is who he is. That is what he's known for. Make a deal with Trump, it's done. You said I cut a long time friend off. Emotions are high right now. Well, see, it's not even just about the election. That's why I tell you all about the moons that we're in. Until January 1st, y'all, people are going to be coming out the woodwork telling people how they feel. We're in a time right now where people are going to purge their feelings. People are going to start telling, stuff that's been on their heart for probably 30 years. This next, what is this, Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday? Baby, listen, you're gonna have people at the table during these holiday dinners talking about some, you know what, I ain't never liked your ass. And they, out of nowhere, it's like, well, where did that come from? But they've been holding on to it all that time. That's what's happening right now. Like, what is not working for your life is being stripped from your life, and there's nothing you could do about it. Said I've been literally sick to my stomach all day. Baby, don't do that to yourself. Said, yep, that's exactly how it went, and I feel so relieved and I feel free. Well, if it relieves you and you feel free, then that's what was supposed to happen, for sure. I don't know why you're on a hiatus for a week, but I thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Said a tax cut for them is unnecessary. They would be rich and trickle down effect, not even mentioned to mask it. Um, well, here's one thing that I don't see most people talking about. Trump wants to do a national sales tax, right? Now, the national sales tax is only going to affect items that are brand new. So, say for instance, you go out and you buy a used car, something, that may have extremely low miles. Only person that pays the tax on that car is the person who purchased it brand new off the showroom floor. The taxes don't trickle down to whoever the next person is that buys that car. Same things with the house. If the house is not new construction, you would not get the tax on it because it's not a brand new house. So if you look at it that way, because he's talking about cutting taxes on overtime. If you are a tipped employee, he's talking about cutting taxes on the tips. That is huge because the tipped industry is going to need all the money that they can get to save up. Because if this economy crashes from everything that happened before Trump gets in office, you're going to need every extra penny that you can get from your overtime and your tips to stock up. Now, I will say for companies, that's a heck of an incentive if you can work overtime and there is no taxes on your overtime. That's going to push people to put in more overtime, which is going to put more productivity into these companies. And it's going to make the companies, you know, if they're union houses, they're going to have to auction off overtime because it will be unfair for certain people to get the lion's share of the overtime. So it trickles back into the community. We need to really, really hope that the help goes to the small business. Because if the small businesses go out of business and they don't get the help, that's going to trickle back into our community, and small businesses losing money is what hurts us the most. Major companies, they'll find a way, but small companies are what make the neighborhoods actually go around. Said Ray J has been in some very weird energy. Uh, Said I own a small construction company. Interesting. Said foreclosures have skyrocketed with backing evictions. The economy is horrible, but people are quiet. I agree. I agree. And see, you got to understand the economy when it comes to the rental market. If they don't get some kind of rent control, like a nationwide rent control under control, people are going to be screwed because you're going to have all these people that are about to lose their homes that they own, going into foreclosure, going back into the housing market, and yeah, rent is through the roof. You can get a studio apartment now for what the price of renting a house used to be. I said Ray J was at the Trump rally with Amber Rose today. Yeah, both of those said the landlords are overcharging too. That's why I said we need a national rent control law. Rent control needs to be pushed through local government and federal government because rent control is ridiculous. You know, when you go to some of these places and they don't have a rent control, and these landlords are not keeping the places up to par, and they're charging like 3 times the rent without fixing anything. Said the landlords have to charge more because they're paying higher taxes, aren't they? Depending on their area. Great statement, Millie the Mystic. Right here in the neighborhood that I live in, the PGA does a tournament every spring, right? Ever since 2019, due to the PGA doing that tournament, the taxes have gone up 4 times since 2019. So a lot of landlords do have to charge more due to the taxes skyrocketing. Said it looked like he was scared of Nikki on that live, and he knew that she wasn't playing. I agree. And thank you for bringing that up because now I'm about to go ahead and tap into that energy because it it felt like he was a pledge in a fraternity, and he was afraid to not make his pledge. So let's see what's behind that. Angel, spirit guides, and ancestors, show me the energy around Ray J and Nikki's live. Why did it feel so awkward? What was Ray J hiding? Okay, so we've got this popping out trine, and it's like he's trying to avoid a hangman. What's the hangman he's trying to avoid, y'all? Okay, so walking away from people, place, and things. What's going on with this hangman he's trying to avoid? It's something that she knows about with some people that he was supposed to be walking away from, something that he was trying to avoid. Yeah, this is some backdoor activity, some sneaky type underhanded energy. 7 of Swords. 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles gives me um, sneaky things that people have done for financial stability. So she knows something about him behind the scenes, something that has to do with his money, something that he has done for work, allegedly, something that he's a part of, or people that he has worked with, that he's trying to separate himself from. It's like they've got toxicity that's like hitting the fan, and he's trying to separate himself from, whatever is going to happen with these people where things are going to hit the fan. Y'all, I knew it. Nikki knows something. She knows that he's separating himself from some people that are literally about to go down. And she's holding his feet to the fire. It's like you're trying to get away from them, but it feels like allegedly, like I know you're one of them. Look at this. Eight of Swords. He was trapped in his head. He was trying to find a way around this conversation because it looks like whatever he's trying to avoid, it possibly can send him to jail. So he was doing something strange for some change. Allegedly, said it's giving Diddy because them sons of his was trying to get at him at that party and Chris Brown had to stop them. Ain't that about nothing? As violent as they say Chris is, and Chris was the one that stopped everything. And they don't like to give Christopher Maurice no types of credit for something that he did when it's positive. Yeah, he's got something going on that's legal, and it's like he could have faced allegedly, he could have been offered something, a decision he had to make. Oh, Ray J, did you save yourself? So here it is, the hangman that's trying. This is the fight. This goes back to the fight, trying to find a new direction. Also, fight with younger people. Um, so you are right, Barbie. This definitely had to do with that fight for sure. But it's like something attached to that fight, something attached to the reason that they don't get along, the reason why I got it popping. It's like he saved himself from a situation that involved him going to jail. So he may have taken some type of opportunity, allegedly, to sit out here with us. So they are hating on my man. That's why they were attacking him. Said keep bringing up his past when he was young, teenager. Let it go. He's a grown man, mature now, and Riri forgave him. It's very interesting how this works. It's very interesting how this works because here it is. Regardless, it's like he still has a core fan base. He still has the street. Nobody will let him live. But if he was so violent, why didn't he just jump in and fight himself? It's like he literally was the peacemaker. Said you think Ray J told or will tell? Um, it feels like allegedly information may have gotten back to her where he's trying to save himself. And this feels like why the sons approached him, because of backdoor activity that has to do with how he's moving. It's like he's keeping a certain persona or profile publicly, but behind the scenes, it ain't what you think it is. She's been put up on game on a lot. I keep telling y'all, Nikki is not just perceptive. You'd be surprised who talks to her. But this is like making a choice to separate yourself from a situation, to walk away from a situation. So I don't see where Ray J was afraid of them. It's more like he eventually chose to fall back, but him falling back more so looks like it was on Chris than him. Yeah, Eight of Cups to the Empress. It's like he walked away from what could have manifested out of a bad situation. Because this is looking like when they rolled up on him, he didn't see it coming. They caught him off guard. You said she's a queen for real. Nikki knows everything, but she is a part of nothing. Said he didn't want them pow pows to start pow powing allegedly. I feel like Nikki is on a hiatus, but I could be wrong. Nikki not gonna sit still for, I want to say, another year and a half. She's gonna take a little time here and there, but it's too much money on the floor for Nikki. She's got a new album she's working on. They want her to do another leg to this tour, so she's gonna get that money while the money is to be got. I said, Nikki looked at that man and said, I hope that you can live with yourself and the decisions that you made. That's what I'm saying. It's like she knows something that he's trying to wiggle himself out of. Because what I'm hearing is that you're one of them too. She observed the break and yep. Oh, dope boy, you're back. Y'all saw Cardi was trying to bait her and she ignored her. I'm glad she did. I'm glad she did because it was too much. Said, wasn't he tied to the Whitney Houston situation? Yeah, Ray J has always been dirty in my eyes. Well, he's always been alleged to be tied to it for sure. Says she's no longer given the female rap stimulus package. Um, to Megan was the last one. Well, Ice Spice, I think, was the last one. I always question the Ice Spice thing. I always wonder what she saw in her. Nikki's a billionaire in the making. Angel, did you see Stevie J trying to get on that live also? No, I didn't. I did not. And Stevie, what did you have to say that had anything to? I don't understand Stevie J. I understand that you want to pledge allegiance to somebody who makes your life comfortable, but when the feds and Homeland Security are involved, why would you say anything publicly that can bring you into court or get you locked up? Said it sure wasn't taken. Maybe it was because they both from New York. Said, did you see Aubrey playing sideline thug at the Raptors game? Yes, we tapped in on that Monday, and since then, he is no longer allowed in the facility. Uh, Said, I'm so happy she ignored her because she was getting whacked. Yeah. Said, we all thought Ice was unproblematic and cute, and she had a lot of his food. She's messy like the rest of the rap girls. Um, I think that the thing with Ice Spice is that she's impressionable and she let that manager who felt some type of way use her as a vehicle to tap back at Nikki and it backfired. But the problem is that manager can leave her, go and work for somebody else and it doesn't matter. But for her not going on tour with Nikki and then, getting in this silent shade war, it ruined her. So it made no sense to pick up somebody else's slack that had nothing to do with you. Like Nikki was practically handing her the blueprint and the pink print rather, and she threw it on the ground. You said, yeah, that was tacky. Didn't expect it from Riri. Said, yep, that's definitely the issue, Angel. I felt that it happened with Doja Cat as well. Said, Ice is her own downfall. She got the big head too quick. I agree with that. Said the whole team was doing the most to endorse Kamala. Said, I was never fooled by Ice. Music has always been trash. Said, I know she regrets that she fell off bad. If I was her, I would beg for forgiveness. Here's the thing. Would it work? Because most of y'all, y'all not about to take her forgiveness. Forgiveness, from Nikki doesn't matter if all of you as the Barbs are still not going to stream her or play her music. It's just, what is it going to do? I mean, really, what did it do the other day for Lotto when Lotto was rapping a Nicki song? And it's like, what what are we watching here? What are we being invited to? Doja played it smart and keeps her distance, but shows Nicki love. I agree. And Doja's far more talented than Ice by far. You said Ray J is trying to separate himself from Diddy. Said he tore her down years ago with Kim. Now, I will say that for a lot of people, people don't remember how hard Ray J used to ride for Kim. So that's why I felt like it was like a hazing type situation as well. And it felt like watching a pledge trying to get through a fraternity. And it just all felt weird because for me when he said I'm a barb, that was the first thing I remembered. Like if you go back to Wait a Minute with Lil Kim and Ray J, where she's featured on the song and how he used to pop out at her shows and he was a huge Kim supporter. Like when did you become a barb? Like how did this happen? So they always expose themselves. I agree. I was like, where did this stepmom thing come from? I look like somebody's stepmom. Okay. Hopefully she's a good bonus mom. Said, yeah, when the Barbs exile you, it's forever unless you're Drake or Wayne. Said Lotto at the point of no return, nothing against her, nothing for her. He hated on her so bad when Nicki first came out. He never was a Barb. He was on 106 in Park shading her with Erica Mena. Now I didn't see that 106 in Park, but I do remember that he hands down was like Team Kim. So to watch him say like I'm a Barb, I've always been a Barb, it felt very, very artificial. And it just was like, what am I watching? Like this is hard to watch. Said it depends. Some Barbs are not for Wayne or Drake either. Said Lotto is Floppo. You know what? Let's tap into Lotto's tour. Some of y'all is mean spirited. I read those comments that all of you had about Lotto's set, where y'all said this looked like a Tyler Perry play. Ain't that about nothing? I just broke my nail, y'all. That's all right. It's time for me to get a new set anyway. I'm glad you find that funny, dope boy. Said at least Tyler Perry plays are good. But they're better than the damn movies, I tell you that. Ah. Said Mariah the Scientist dropped out her tour. I know she's mad. Oh, wow. I didn't know Mariah the Scientist dropped out her tour. But then again, her man's just got home. So she could have dropped out that tour because of her man. Let's get out of here because apparently you just found out you're gay and you want to make sure we know 32 times. How about congratulations and you're not the first one? There we go. We don't judge you for that over here. You said Mariah got some D to catch up on. She not worried about Lotto's tour. Said I understand a few dates, but the whole tour, Mariah, don't mess up that bag. Men come and go. Well, let's tap into the tour. Matter of fact, why did Mariah the Scientist drop out of this tour? So it feels like they want promotion from Nicki's fan base because they are still pouring into her financially. Her success is unmatched in today's climate. Ray J wants the Barb support. I agree. Nicki is the winning ticket. Hey, Elizabeth. Okay, so we're about to go off into Lotto's tour and update. My thumbnail completely left the reading. It just broke. But without any further ado. So yeah, why would you leave a tour, Mariah? That's the question. Thank you. That is the question. My nail said it don't even want to know. It left. Why did Mariah the Scientist leave Lotto's tour? Mm. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. We've got a judgment card here. We got temperance. Y'all, what I tell you, this is basically what I just said. Let's see what y'all talking about. Why, thank you, dope boy. That's very nice of you. After you laughed at my nail. Why are you here, Richard? Matter of fact, let's help you out. Send you back to the street. There you go. Y'all, you got the Ace of Pentacles, the Judgment, and Temperance. It looks like there's more money on the floor for her walking away from this situation, and she needed to get balanced through a new beginning to get to bigger bags. Something about this did not pan out the way it was supposed to. The Empress and the Magician. Y'all. Oh, Lord. This is crazy. It's like it benefits her more to stay home, and if she wants to, allegedly, if she wants to stay home and make a baby, it's more beneficial. Oh, oh no. So, y'all, there was some strong conversations around work, okay? This collaboration. So it's like whatever happened with this collaboration after they had words, it made her reconsider the situation and consider her options. So they got into it. And it looks like they got into it over financial opportunity, or the money she was supposed to be paid for this financial opportunity. So I'm going to say, here it is, the Chariot. It looks like the money may not have been moneying. And Mariah decided to leave because she's no brokey. That did not age well. You make a song called Brokey and get into it with somebody about what they're supposed to get paid, and they leave because allegedly, allegedly, the money was not moneying. Baby. Hey, Sparkle. Yeah, we got anxiety here. This, y'all, if this don't look like, you know, Ice Spice little sister, Lotto cousin, she's got a lot of anxiety over being judged about this tour. We are still talking about Lotto. So, yeah, we're talking about Mariah, the scientist, and why she left. So, it's two birds, one stone. So, she made this decision because I'm telling you, she was promised, whatever it was she was promised, it's like something didn't come to fruition. They were discussing something with the money, and it didn't work too well. This, I don't know if it was management, because Queen of Swords can be someone that represents legal or management. Five of Cups to the Princess of Wands. Yeah, whatever this was did not manifest the way it was supposed to, baby. And Mariah ended up in the wind. Yep. She put this together. So it's like she put this together in some kind of way. It's like it feels like she may have overshot it in some way. It feels like the girls are finally starting to understand and realize how expensive and how hard it is to put together a tour and to come up with a budget. And it's like to do it out of pocket is way harder than expected. Said RCA was smart. I wouldn't pay for anything else either. Well, I mean, if she has the right fan base, that means extra money in her pocket. But it's like something is not panning out the way it's supposed to. This was supposed to be like, oh, it's like family. We gonna get this money. We gonna rake it up. And whatever happened with this Three of Pentacles, them working together, Seven of Cups, led to her considering her options. And baby, you on your own. Nine of Pentacles, the independent woman. I'm telling y'all, it was the breakdown of what I said in the beginning. Here's the King of Wands. He like, you ain't even got to worry about it. What was you going to make? I'll throw it to you. Other opportunities, I'll throw it to you. And she decided to leave and let this situation pretty much fall at his wayside. So I really feel like we need to go back to artist development and building a team, because it's not as easy as these girls think it is. And everybody just feels like, oh, well, this person's on tour, this person's on tour, I'm going to go on tour. It's not that easy. You need a fan base that's going to support you where, you know, it counts. And if you can't get your fan base to stream your music the way that you need them to, then it's okay to do club dates and smaller, you know, venues until you build it up. It's like people are skipping steps. Nobody wants to build things up and work their way through. These artists don't realize it's a lot of money in the chitlin circuit. The street got a lot of money. To be honest with y'all, it's the street that's gonna make the money when this economy can crash. Like the artists that get to do the club dates and things like that, they've got a better chance because they will go to the club to go see somebody before they will spend an exorbitant amount of money on a show that they might not like. Would you say that buy lotto, have fun on that hill? Oh, oh my gosh, y'all. Oh, cat eyes, you getting them together. You said y'all think Doja could get a Nicki collab on the next album. Um, it would be interesting because the next album, Doja's doing R&B and pop. She's not doing hip hop, any rap on this next album. And I think that Doja and Nicki could have worked together a long time ago. So I see the both of them charting if they work together because that's one thing about Doja and Nicki. They know how to stay in the top 10. Let me see. Said Doja knew she had to go back to R&B and pop. No, not necessarily. She first of all, Doja's been in pop this whole time. She does more pop than she does hip hop. So she's been in pop this whole time. But Doja gets results. That's one thing you can't take from her. Doja gets on the charts and she stays on the charts. Agora Hills just slid off the chart not too long ago. So, she's one of those people that stays in the chart with Nicki. Out of all the rap girls, none of the rap girls stay in the chart as long as Doja next to Nicki. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Said, I don't know. She tried to get her on the PF2. Said, I like Doja, very talented. I think Nicki is over collaborating with rap girls. Ice Spice was the icing on the cake. Y'all got to stop giving Ice Spice all that credit. Ice is not really a rapper. She's a spoken word artist that happens to be on drill beats, as far as I'm concerned. Say, yep, she's in her own lane, very problematic. Well, here's the funny thing. She gave one of the biggest diss to, Henny last year, and nobody paid attention. That Paint the Town Red. Listen to Paint the Town Red and rewatch that video. I promise you will look at that and say, damn, I didn't realize Doja was tearing her up like that. Why, thank you, Cash Money. Said, wasn't Doja throwing shade at Nicki on Scarlet? I'll have to go back and check and see. I've always seen her give Nicki, shout outs. I didn't listen to all of Scarlet, so I have to go back and check and see. But I know for a fact on Paint the Town Red, she tore Henny up. And you're right. Would you say cutting horse parts? Yeah, it was horse steaks flying everywhere. She talking about drinking Hennessy through a straw and can't take the bitch nowhere. She was cutting up. I was like, damn, Doja. You said, wasn't that Tory? Wasn't that Tory who, Zay? No. You got to look at the Paint the Town Red video. She has a whole part where she's literally cutting up a horse and throwing horse meat. I said, now if Nicki had done that, they'd have shut down the damn internet. Said Doja shouted her out on her tour, saying that she loves her and she thanks her multiple times. Wasn't that Tory who chopped the horse leg? I'm talking about a whole different video, and actually the what you're talking about with Tory came out before You know, that was out of context when they used that in court. That was before the incident. Yeah, see, the prosecution played around with that. A lot of people didn't know that that was out of context, that that was not in the proper timeline. But yeah, Agora Hills, oh yeah, she literally butchered a horse and was throwing horse steaks all across the video shoot with the worst haircut ever. Look at here, somebody spamming me about my forehead. Said Doja respects and loves Nicki, but you can tell, unlike the others, she wants her own name and come up without Nicki attachment. I respect it. I could see that. I could see that. I gotta give, like I said, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Like Doja gets a little too weird for me, but um, I want to say, let me see, was it the Neon Pink album? Was it? Yeah, Hot Pink. Like I listened to Hot Pink and Amala a lot. Planet Her, I didn't listen to as much as those two, but I like that Doja, you know, is well rounded. I like that she plays around with her sound. Like you look at like what was that song, Tia Tamara? I thought that was cute with her and Rico Nasty. Yep, you say yes, very weird but talented. Yeah, you got to give her credit where credit is due. And then not only that, not only is she writing and singing her own music, Doja does a lot of her own production depending on what the song is. So she, you know, being that she's making her own beats, she's writing, she's singing, her you know, her dancing and her overall performance is very interesting. She gives a really good stage show. Now, that would have been a nice tour if you could have had, you know, like a Doja and Nicki tour. I think that would have been a dope tour. Let's get this one out of here. Yeah, I definitely think that would have been a really nice show for sure. Motorcycle people, do not get over here in front of my house. Thank you, Cat Eyes, for anyone who's watching this in the playback. She put in the chat. If you need a reading, please contact me at angelkissestheoracle@gmail.com. I do have bookings available for morning and afternoon readings. All of my readings are live and direct. I prefer to do video readings. I do not do pre-records. Everything is in real time, and I don't ask many questions. If you know, look down in the chat, I'm pretty sure somebody who's had a reading from me can let you know that it turned out really well. You said, yep, and they went number one together, first female rap collab, right? Doja and Nicki Eats. Like, I think that would be a dope concert. You put Doja and Nicki on the same tour, you can't help but to sell that out. But you know, Nicki, not Nicki, Doja's so versatile. You could put Doja on tour with, you know, so many different types of acts. Like you could put her on a tour with Lady Gaga and it would still fit because she's also pop. So, you know, Doja's one of those girls that if they phase out a lot of these rap girls, she has nothing to worry about because she's She does so many different genres. She can be in pop just fine and it wouldn't make a difference. Let's see. Anybody else y'all want me to tap into? Yeah, real talent prevails for sure. So we think Kendrick's album coming the end of this year, beginning of next year. Um, it it definitely, I believe it should have been out already. They may have held it to have it closer to Super Bowl, which is smart. Yeah, she solidified herself. I agree. So do you think Doja will do a Super Bowl one year? I think it would be a good idea to have her do Super Bowl because she's so well rounded that she really has something for everybody, and she does a really good stage show. So I think that that would be a good one. You said Hallie and DDG, y'all. That's a ratchet couple. Listen, I don't know why y'all don't understand. Hallie and DDG are literally a church girl with no street sense or experience dating. DDG, hood dude who saw this girl, was like, oh, she's, she hasn't been jaded yet. Let me get over here and play in her face until she get tired of me. And that's what happened. Because he knew she didn't know what type of games he was running. She's not accustomed to guys like him. She grew up sheltered. Said Hallie just came at DDG on Twitter. Oh, wow. Said, are you still doing your Camel and Aaliyah reading? I was going to do that one tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me. That's going to be a deep dive. So Plies is suing the horse, botched it. Yeah, and Glow. He is. Said Hallie is mad that DDG had her son on Kaisenet stream. Never seen her come for him online. Wow. Will Young Thug manage his probation conditions? And will the industry use it as a way to throw him under the bus? And is this actually the demon some people say that he is? Let me answer that backwards. Yes, he is. They're hoping that he doesn't make it the full 10 years. They are praying he doesn't because they want to find any reason to lock him up. This is beyond the industry. This is actually a personal vendetta that someone used law enforcement to enforce. And it's pretty much like vigilante justice on steroids because he took away somebody that's very important to them. So I hope that that makes sense to you. They feel like he's the reason why somebody that they love very much is no longer here. They used it against him, and he definitely is nothing to play with. He's not he's not he's he's not a nice guy, but he's a person that you would do well with as an ally. It's better to rock with him than against him for sure. I said, nah, he's good. He got his federal handler spotting his moves. Y'all are funny. Said it's definitely personal thing with a Young Thug. Said the fact that Georgia elected Fannie back. Oh, she got back into office. Interesting. That's why she did that case the way she did, because her opponent said if you elect her, she was going to end that trial the first day in office. Said I remember what came out there, and apparently Nut wasn't the one Fannie was dating. According to some, it was someone else. It's some very interesting stories attached to that, and I've heard what you're talking about before, but it's definitely a personal vendetta nonetheless. You said I don't agree. You don't agree with what, dope boy? Let me find another deck. Let's get you out of here. Well, hello, Jonathan. That's an interesting name. Said it came out today. Woody. He said he is married to one of the defendants recently, allegedly. Thank you, Jerry. Hey, Lakia. And sweetie, whatever time you get here is cool. We always got a playback. Let's see. How is this going to work out for Young Thug with 10 years probation? So we're looking at this as a collaborative effort. He's going to have to be very careful even in his communication. Um, they got him in a tough bind, y'all. And it's a stronghold against him. A lot of people are building their stability off of this. Oh, you said it's actually 15 years probation, and he has to report for the first 7.5 years. I wonder what type of reporting does he have to do? Is he on color count? Does he have to call in? Does he have to go in and drop? Because that's what's going to be very evasive, and it's going to be hard for him, especially if he needs to travel to perform. Lord, they just set him up big time. Most people find it hard to make it through a year or two of probation. Could you imagine 15? So it has to do concerts too. That's to promote no gang violence. That boy, the cap of it all. You said permission to travel and work with Gunner again. Ain't that about nothing? Said he has to check in with probation officers to have the test and screening to get permission, I think, to travel. Yeah, I know he has to stay out of Atlanta for 10 years. That's, wow. This is unheard of. Except for like funerals and local concerts. Like, says he already been speaking at colleges. The college class is starting already, I guess, in community service. You said they both brothers. Was that an answer to my question earlier, dope boy? Because I was waiting for your answer. Said can't be around any other gang members. That's everybody he know except for like 3 people. Okay. So also random screenings, and he's not allowed to sing about violence. What music will he be able to make without, we'll say, substances? It sounds like they want him to just retire and go stand in the corner and put his face nose wall, to the wall. Like, Like what you want him to do? Like read audio books? Like put his voice on like GPS and stuff? Like you said gospel rap. Nope. Oh, at this point they gonna have him and Chris Shine on the top of the gospel charts. Lord have mercy. I f- him, Chris Shine, and Glorilla gonna be the new gospel acts. This boy, what is 2025 about to do? Yeah, they're trying to put him in a situation to where it's like it's a no win. Every offer could bring a rest to his freedom. They want him constantly in deep sympathy, regret, remorse. Would you say not young thug, young hug? Y'all terrible. Yes, 2025 is already something else. I told y'all that this year is the warm up for next year. I warned y'all. You said they bang for the Lord. Y'all remember Reverend X? Anybody in the chat remember Reverend X? Please tell me if you remember it, Reverend X. You'll know why this is why this is relevant. You said they bang for the Lord. Oh, Reverend X used to be on public access television. And he would get on public access television, crip walking for Jesus. You said gospel, they need to quit it. Trying to get that Kurt Franklin money. Oh, goodness gracious. Listen, I told y'all the industry drying up. People trying any and everything. The fact that Glorilla was #1 on the gospel charts this year tell you something. Y'all, that took me out. I'll probably be giggling about that one in the bed. I'll literally be going to bed crying, laughing on that one alone. Like Glorilla, literally, she was. Y'all think I'm joking? Look it up. She has a #1 song on the gospel charts. She broke a record. So they're about to have Kurt Franklin dancing in all the videos like Puff. Oh my God. Please not. Because he was doing some little dance Diddy thing that looked like he was about to boy twerk. I said, if you don't put your bussy up, we not trying to do this at this concert. Stop it. And said, yeah, so they outdid her headliner in sales, embarrassing the horse. Everybody that went on that tour did better than her. The Sunday Service remix came out. That, did what it was doing. Lotto debuted, the way she debuted that week. Glorilla had what? 4 top 10 songs, 5 music videos, left the tour, dropped the song, ended up on the news with the weatherman, and then ends up dropping this album Glorious, and goes in the top 10 on the hip hop side, #1 female charting album for this year, because remember Nicki came out last year, and then #1 on the gospel charts. And she beat her 2 weeks in a row. She probably gonna beat her next week too, because y'all gotta remember that the Act 2 for Megan is not classified as a separate project. It's classified as an extension to the first one and a mixtape. So it only sold, I want to say just barely around 9K. And then they took the total sales from both and added them together to get her what is it? No, I overshot it. Like 44,000. So 44,000, y'all. I want y'all to think about this. 44,000 in sales between 2 projects. 5-10 years ago, you would have been dropped. Period. The company would have felt like you were an epic loss. There's nothing you could do for them. You would have been dropped. You said the young audience F with Glorilla. I know grandmas that mess with Glorilla. Glorilla the right type of country. She's like this generation Snoop Dogg. It was grandparents and older people that mess with Snoop. She's just somebody that everybody, you know, no matter what it is, it's something for everybody with Glow. So why is ASAP Rocky case not getting nearly as much coverage as what Tory case was, and his crime was way worse than what Tory was accused of? Marla Maria, sweetie, they got the right lawyers and the right money. That's what that is. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to her appeal culturally, she's the female Snoop for this generation. And Snoop did co-sign her for one of the videos that she dropped during the tour. Yeah, said, yeah, Glorilla music is good. No hate and stuff. I mean, even if you're not a big Glow fan, when Glow comes on in the club and the bar, it goes up. Say Henny must have the most magical cat in the world, because there's no way there's gonna be going this hard for someone who flops how she does. Baby, I don't know what she doing, but she doing it to the max, because these numbers ain't numbering. You said that's Riri man child. Yeah, Riri gonna make sure that she put everything she can, including this kitchen sink, behind her man. Her baby daddy gonna get what he need. You right. So that $1 billion Riri, billionaire Riri, making sure her man is good. So she got her own voice. I never said she didn't. I said she's this generation's female Snoop, meaning her cultural appeal goes across the family. Not everybody's appeal goes across the family. Says she's riding the camel's humps. Allegedly. Not a fan of hers, but that song with T-Pain was on repeat. I like the song with T-Pain. I think that was smart that she did that. It was nostalgic. It took you back to the early 2000s, and T-Pain rocked that song. Said the horse can't even make it in the BTS. Hold on, you said with the BTS band Asian department. Listen, she is the only one I ever seen that had BTS with low numbers, and it happened more than once. Did I have a deep dive? Not yet, Daisy. It'll be coming soon. Said I think she's Jay-Z's side chick. Ain't no way. This got to be more than some side chick. This is next level side chick. No side chick is worth this much. Usually, like if you're a side chick and somebody fight for you like this, you're beneficial in some type of way. This is a loss left and right. Said break off a piece of that Kit Kat. You got to give away the whole Kit Kat for this type of support. Said I bet the video of ASAP pow powing that man came out and turned her on. Oh, you know what? I'm done. Said ain't no way, ain't no effing way, future voice. Said if you pay close attention, Beyonce throws slight shade to Henny all the time. I agree. 3 times at this point, all in the same year. So yep, BTS tried to help her twice and still flop. Yeah, I mean BTS has record numbers. She's one of the only artists I've ever seen to have terrible numbers with BTS. Angel, can you do a reading on how the rest of the YSL Rico will go? Long, exaggerated, and because Fanny got back in, it's going to trickle, and she gonna get all she can get out of it. Said there's 2 defendants left. Probably in a throuple with Beyonce. Lord, involuntary or involuntary, at this point, they are all together. So why hasn't Kylie spoken up, and why did she still kick Bigfoot out of her party? That's a great question. I I've tapped into this case so many times. Um, the documentary didn't even help the sales. Now, I want y'all to think about this. She had all of this happen before the documentary. The fanfare with, the paperwork with the lawsuit. And pay very close attention, y'all. She never addressed that there was an incident at Kylie's house. She just showed getting in the vehicle and then they got into it in the vehicle. There was no backstory to it. Said BTS got Lotto a number one and got Mega nothing. Damn. Damn, damn. Can you ask how Beyonce and the rest feel about Kamala's loss? They feel like they're gonna be singing Akon locked up, allegedly. Thank you, Joey Day. Said the Agent Turbo Boost didn't work for her because the Kit Kat take every song is tired. Oop. Said none of the Gretchen wieners. Oh my God. That Sim Simmy Ya song. Y'all said locked up, they won't let them out. Listen, I told y'all to pay attention, pay very close attention to who is supporting Kamala because a lot of those people will pop up on that list. How did you feel about Bay and all of these damn Halloween spreads? I touched on it on Monday. Thank you for bringing that up. So on Monday, we talked about her dressing up as Apollonia and Prince. Well, actually, she dressed up as Prince with the touch of Apollonia. And the photo was dope. I'll give her that. The photo was dope. Um, it was just very off-putting to me because her husband tried through Title to kind of sideswipe Prince and jack him for his entire catalog so that they could play the whole catalog on Title. Prince allowed them a 90-day trial for a new project and they tried to take all of his music. And after he passed away, his estate was still fighting them to get all of his music back. They did get it back from Title, but after we got off the live on Monday, I found out that Prince's sister passed away. And she's the sister that fought back to get his music back from Title. So very, very interesting. The Pam Anderson thing I thought was very interesting. I don't know if it's just me, y'all, and I'm not one of those people that doesn't like a black woman in blonde hair. I just think you need to find the blonde that works for you because Mary looks very, very good with blonde, and she's looked great blonde for decades. I don't like this dead platinum hair on Beyonce. I don't, y'all. I don't. It pulls away from her skin. It doesn't add to her. She needs a richer blonde. The white blonde just doesn't work for her. You said she's bad. She is a beautiful woman. She is. It's the wrong shade of blonde for her though. It felt like soul channeling. It definitely washes her out. I agree. Yeah. Like even if she did some like white streaks, like the platinum like white streaks with some like highlights, it just she needs a little bit more of a hue to that blonde so it can actually put some color back in her face. So she stole that wig. So she looks like a ghost. I like the darker blondes and the brown hair on Beyonce. Yeah, they look a little better on her, the honey brown. Yeah, she could have. It's the It does. It completely washes her out. Like I was bleach blonde, y'all, for 12 years. And for those of y'all who may not notice, the makeup you wear with darker hair versus the makeup you wear with blonde hair is not the same. You have to adjust your makeup for the hair color. Certain makeup does not look good with certain hair colors. And then you have to make sure that the hair color and the makeup pairs well, because you got to know like your undertones and the overtones in your skin. Do you have, yellow undertones? Do you have blue undertones, red undertones? All those things matter. Said Solange is the real Beyonce. Solange is fine. I knocked that up. Well, damn, David. Well, say you love her without saying you love her. So yeah, like I said, I'm not against it. I was blind forever, but you gotta adjust it. Said I wonder if the whole thing is a humiliation ritual. She always seems so put together, and she doesn't seem like herself anymore. She's felt off to me this whole Cowboy Carter tour. It just doesn't fit for me. Why won't Jace be seen out with his son, firstborn son? They're hiding him. Interesting question. Y'all do know the NY district that's investigating Joanne and Camel. The southern district of New York. That's who is doing the investigation. The same the district that is investigating Puffy and Mayor Adams. And this is also the same district that took down El Chapo, for those of y'all that don't know. Oh, you're welcome. So actually in a past documentary Bay did, she said she likes blonde, so she's worn it since. I'm not against her wearing blonde. It's just that white blonde, the straw blonde, it doesn't add to her. It ages her, and it takes away from her because it's too, like, I put it to you like this. Your natural hair, if you look through your hair, is not naturally just one color. It has dimension to it. It may be one color primarily, but when you look at it, especially when the sun hits it, there's lighter strands and darker strands. It's just too much of one color. It comes off flat. She can do the blonde. It's just it needs some dimension to it. Oh, she said Jay likes blonde, so she's been blonde for him. Interesting. That's funny because she's the only one he dated that was blonde. Well, he's married to her now. Let's see. Let me see what y'all talking about over here. You say you don't believe that one. You don't believe which one, Rainbow saw it. Ooh, you said why Grandma Tina looks so much like an old scary witch. Baby, I'm not playing with you. Was Blue Cantrell blonde, or am I misremembering, or were they ever confirmed to have dated? Blue Cantrell was very blonde and she wore blue contacts, and she stayed blonde throughout her career. No, you're not misremembering. Do you think it's true that the Camel and Free from 106 in Park had a fling? I don't put anything past it. You talking about a young, wealthy man that could bend corners at will. Why wouldn't he? Free's a beautiful woman, has a very nice shape. She had, natural hams on her before all these, implants and shots became a thing. And she's extremely talented. Free. If y'all never heard Free rap, I suggest you look up her performances. You said Free hasn't spoken up since. She's spoken recently, but she's very, very it. I put it to you like this: it's very, very interesting the way she words things. She says she has no birth children. That doesn't mean she doesn't have any children, but she says she has no birth children. So I heard Camel and once the reason why 106 in Park got canceled because the hair joke with Blue Ivy. That hair joke was terrible. And the reason why it was terrible, you had a woman who has a Asian aesthetic that people don't consider to be a black woman to make this joke, and it's about a child. So it just came off all in poor taste. Said Free and I have the same birthday. She seems like a solid Aquarius. Oh, I didn't know she was Aquarius, but she's super talented, I can tell you that. Hey, Angel the Babe. Yeah, Free is super talented. So if you can go back to, like, you go on Apple Music or Spotify, even on YouTube, and you look up the movie Fighting Temptation, there's a song with Beyonce, Missy, Free, and I can't remember who else. But this, I believe the song is called Fighting Temptation, actually, and you can hear Free perform on that song. Free used to be a beast. Said Foxy, Free, and Tierra Marie need to speak. Yep, poor Carucci should have said no to saying that. I would have if I was her, just the aesthetic alone. Like, people look at Carucci and they don't see a black woman, even though she has a black parent. So just the aesthetic of her saying that comes off colorist and, other things. It was just in poor taste. I would have turned it down. So said chose Rihanna over her. I would, yeah. Yeah, they did Tierra dirty. Tierra, if y'all don't remember, Tierra was considered the princess of the rock, and then they dropped her out of nowhere. And Tierra, I want to say her first week out, Tierra had some really good sales, but they were considered to be low back then. So imagine, you know, doing like 300,000-400,000 in sales, and it not be considered enough because back then were pure sales. Like what she did back then, girls couldn't do now. Praying with payola. Speaking of Tierra Marie, let's see. Tierra Marie was awesome. Absolutely. People forgot, like, even her fashion sense, the way that Tierra used to dress. If you look at Rihanna in the beginning, when she did the Pon de Replay video, and then you see Good Girl Gone Bad, it looks like they transferred a lot of the fashion sense from Tierra to Riri. But a lot of people didn't remember Tierra because she didn't last but so long. Didn't they drop her around graduation or prom, something like that? They dropped her on her grad. No, excuse me. They dropped her on her prom day. She got certified mail right before she went to prom, and she was dropped on her way to prom. And she said she called Jay to see what happened, and no answer, no avail. Never spoke to her again. Didn't tell her why she was dropped. That was the story. Said, like, why it couldn't be both of them. Um, Allegedly he don't like what he can't control. And I'm gonna tell you, as a chick from 7 Mile. She's from East 7 Mile. She grew up over by Persian High School. That was her neighborhood. A female from 7 Mile, especially from back then in the 90s, you weren't going to impress her by throwing a couple of dollars around and popping champagne, because you got to understand, like, we come from the land of BMF and Young Boys Incorporated and, you know, say more. So, it, it was always raining in the club. Like, girls 14 and 15 years old were, in the bars getting cashed out. Like, it was a whole different time. So to try to impress a girl from that era, it wasn't gonna pop off, because they were used to so much, dope money in the street, that running into artists that had money was like a downgrade, if that makes sense. So, one of these days I'll show y'all some of my old pictures. But, like, I used to go to school in exotic skins and fur bomber jackets and things like that in high school. That's just the way it was. That's how the money ran in the street back then. So he couldn't impress her the same way that he could impress some of those other girls, because if you came from 7 Mile, especially during that time, you done seen some things. And I guarantee you. Matter of fact, let's tap into it. Why did he drop Tierra Marie? That's a good one. You said, hey, would you say I'm a psychic if I'm good when marriage ends in divorce? I don't even know what that sentence was supposed to mean, but okay. How about poor Uncle Ron? He mentioned Carrie Hilson before he passed and said that they sabotaged her career. Interesting enough, I did an Uncle Ron reading in membership, and I saw that Uncle Ron had a lot of validity to what he said. And whoever may possibly not want him to be here, it's too late, because whatever he said is already on the record and it's being used. Alrighty. Why was Tierra Marie dropped? Why was Tierra Marie dropped? We got a tower. Oh, a tower with a King of Cups. Y'all, it got spicy off the rip. Y'all know who the King of Cups is. Somebody was tight in their feelings, but y'all know who the King of Cups possibly could have been. What's this tower with this King of Cups? Ended up being an unrequited offer and a hangman. So she didn't play ball with somebody, y'all. Now let's remember this. She was a minor at the time. She was just going to high school when she got dropped. When they signed her, I want to say she was only 15 years old. Emperor, this was an unrequited offer for someone that she cut off. So someone that was in control of her career. They didn't get what they wanted out of her, and they decided to cut her off. Looked like there was an overlay for an underplay. It's like, to the public, there's a lot of love, but behind the scenes, things were not as they appeared to be. Beyonce hate competition. They got all her competition out the way, allegedly. Yeah, this brought a lot of hardship. Y'all, I got a feeling this has to do with the diddler. This got to do with the diddler. Like I said, she wasn't as easy as to be controlled as they needed her to be. Where'd the card go? Hold on. Yeah, look at this. 7 of Wands. Somebody saw her as defensive. She stood up for herself. Something happened. She stood up for herself. And this ended up being a beginning of a new cycle. Probably didn't want to party. Said it makes me so uncomfortable knowing they always sign these girls when they're so young. Like, where are the parents? Diddler probably was like, I want her in my rotation. Yep, did that, did that. Yeah. And this led to a betrayal, a heavy tower and a betrayal. So she stood up for herself. She spoke up for herself, and somebody didn't like it. Yeah, I agree. A lot of the parents are money hungry. So this is pretty much what was, the Achilles heel to her career. Um, I'm hearing the phrase not easily broken. Somebody wanted to break her or break her in. And whoever this is controlled a lot of income. It was like whatever she was supposed to get, whatever was supposed to be the next level for her, it literally was going to manifest out of whatever this situation was. She had to play ball. And this is so sad because Ace of Cups to the Nine of Cups. It's like she loves, she loved what she did. She loved her career. She loved being an entertainer. But this was a heavy burden for her. But I'm telling you, something's going to come out with her and the Diddler because you got Justice and the King of Cups. Okay, Lily, let's send you back to where you came from. There you go. Bye-bye. You talking about somebody need Jesus, but you're here watching them. Jesus is going to ask you, why did you even come here if that's the case, ma'am? Yeah, it feels like, y'all, allegedly, this feels like somebody put the squeeze on her career because she stood up for herself and it was something that she just did not want to take part in. She was not easily controlled. And she had to go because this was a burden. But this doesn't feel like it was a burden to her. This was a burden to whoever she stood up to. Yeah. Justice falls under the Seven of Wands. So somebody wanted to teach her a lesson. Play ball or go home. Yes, my hair is real. Why in the world can y'all not believe that somebody actually grows real hair? Yeah. Y'all see this? Now, King of Wands. We know who the King of Wands is, and this falls under the World in reverse. So that's literally like a, reversing everything that was supposed to be offered to you. This started a whole new cycle that came out of judgment. Oh, I see somebody tapping in from Brazil. Hi, baby. How are you? Oh, King of all kings. That's an interesting name. So, yeah, y'all. Looks like she stood her ground. She stood up. She got the bucking back. She was talking back. Somebody didn't like it. It feels like She whatever the program was, she didn't comply, and because she didn't comply, she got phased out in the worst way. It feels like get down or lay down. Hello from Ohio. Hello, hello. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up, y'all. So I remember when she dated Ray J on Love and Hip Hop. Ray J always treated her like it was a pimps up, hoes down. That situation never felt like a respectable relationship. He always treated her like property to me. Oh, I thank you, King of Kings. So yes, he did. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you, William Reynolds. Great content. Thank you, Dope Boy. I appreciate you. Yeah, he always treated her like property. And I want y'all to pay attention to even like his situation with Princess Love. When he got with Princess Love used to be, um, Mayweather's girl. So how did you end up with Mayweather's girl? And then y'all end up together and you marry her, but you had Tierra for what, 9 years, and then you married Princess. But just the whole way they went back and forth, y'all, it felt very pimps up, hoes down. It really did. Yeah, when he pushed her in the pool. Goodness gracious. But I tell you one thing for certain and two things for sure. Princess ain't afraid to throw them hands. I thank you, everybody. Anybody who wants to get a reading with me, please email me at angelkissestheoracle@gmail.com. I do have morning and afternoon availabilities. 30-minute readings start off at $44. Hour readings are $88 an hour. Those are basic readings. If you want to do cold case readings, anything of that nature, those readings are $250, and it's like $250 for a 2-hour block. I offer, like I said, live readings. I usually do video readings where you can watch me work in real time. And I do not do pre-recorded. You have to talk to me directly. So you say hands can be applied, huh, Queen? Listen. I thank all of you for coming out tonight. Much love to all of you. Many blessings to all of you. And I'm going to go ahead and wind it down. Get me some rest. I got a busy day tomorrow. Everybody that is in my membership, expect a content dump. You got a lot coming to you. I'm going to go ahead and start uploading videos from the vault, like readings from like 2020, 2021. I'll even do polls in membership where you can vote on which ones you want me to upload, and we'll go from there. But I thank you all. And I wouldn't be here without y'all. Y'all are the greatest. I appreciate every last one of you. And I will be seeing you soon. Good night, y'all. Bye-bye.